Graduates, please be seated. Graduates, families, and distinguished guests here with us in the room, and others who are joining us online, I am Nisha Bochwe, the Dean of the Hubert H. Humphrey School of Public Affairs, and I'd like to welcome you all here today. Yes, we can clap. I'd also like to thank the University of Minnesota's Regent, Bo Turabe, and Dean of Graduate Education, Scott Lanyon, for presiding over today's ceremony. Let's applaud them as well. Today is a momentous occasion as we gather to celebrate the remarkable accomplishments of our graduates. On behalf of the Humphrey School faculty and staff, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all of you. Graduating from the Humphrey School is no easy feat, and I am in awe of the accomplishments of every single one of you. You have spent countless hours poring over textbooks, articles, and reports, writing papers, maybe with some assistance from Grammarly or GPT Chat, engaging in meaningful discussions with your peers and professors. You have emerged from these experiences as experts in public policy and leaders in your field. And let's be real for a second. You likely did not do this alone. The support of your family, friends, and loved ones played a critical role in your success. Let's give them a round of applause. I also want to acknowledge the dedication of our faculty and staff who have worked tirelessly, some of whom are still grading papers, to provide you with the tools to shape public policy. As you leave here today, I encourage you to take with you those lessons. Take with you those lessons that you've learned at the Humphrey School. You have the skills, knowledge, and experiences necessary to solve real-world challenges and to make a positive impact in your communities. Please, let's give our faculty and staff a round of applause. This year's commencement ceremony is focused on having the tools to lead and shape public policy in a divided country and world. A divided country and world with increasingly intractable challenges that are set before us. In this context, I want to highlight the importance of humility, empathy, and inclusivity. The work we do as public leaders and professionals is not about us. It's not about us, but rather it's about serving the greater good. It is about finding common ground and working towards sustainable and long-term solutions that benefit everyone, not just a select few. We are at a critical moment in our history, and the challenges we face as a society are complex, as you know from your studies, and multifaceted. The COVID-19 pandemic has exposed deep inequalities in our society and has highlighted the need for innovative solutions to address these very challenges. Climate change, systemic racism, economic inequality, and political polarization are just a few of the issues we grapple with. we grappled with in the classrooms, and you will grapple with as you move into the next leg of your journey. But despite these challenges, I am hopeful for the future because you are leading it. I am hopeful because I know that the Humphrey School has been a place where you've practiced leadership and shaping policy in a way that is inclusive, empathetic, and sustainable. Our new strategic plan, which models our commitment to valuing diversity and inclusion of thought, experience, and identity, envisions that the Humphrey School will be a catalyst and significant contributor to solutions through our roles in teaching, research, and service. We will continue to educate, engage, and equip leaders who advance the common good through communities and discover solutions throughout our diverse world. And so, graduates, as you embark on the next chapter of your lives, I urge you to see your knowledge and skills to create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. You are now part of a community of more than 6,000 Humphrey School alumni who are making a difference throughout the world. I encourage you to stay connected with our fellow graduates and with the Humphrey School. Continue to be a part of the conversation about how we can create a better world. As we get started here today, congratulations on your graduation, and we are increasingly proud of all that you will do and you continue to do. Your faculty on stage, the staff who are here who've supported you throughout your years with us are incredibly proud of all that you will do and accomplish in the years ahead. It is now my pleasure to introduce a very special guest to welcome and congratulate each of you. Since arriving in the Senate, Amy Klobuchar has earned a reputation as an effective, results-driven legislator, willing to reach across the aisle to get things done. In the last Congress, she distinguished herself as the senator with the most bipartisan bills, and Vanderbilt University has ranked her as one of the most effective senators in Congress. She has worked to expand federal support for higher education, and she knows our future success as a state and as a nation depends on ensuring that quality education is accessible and affordable. It is my honor to introduce our U.S. Senator, Amy Klobuchar.
Unbelievable. Thank you. You guys look great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tanisha Bochwe, and thank you for your leadership. Thank you to your speaker today, Shonda Smith-Baker. And thank you to all of these incredible graduates and the proud families and friends that are up there in the rafters cheering them on. So I love the Humphrey Institute. I love it in part because the Humphrey Institute, the actual physical building, right when it opened, is where I had my wedding reception. True story. I know for those of you who maybe go to see lectures in that atrium or, you study there, you don't see it as a romantic place, but it was for us. We had pictures, we had dances, we had balloons everywhere. I had my first dance with my husband. So that's what I remember from the Humphrey Institute. And the other thing I remember is, of course, this incredible faculty and staff, because your success is their success. The same with your families, and then of course the graduating class. And this class is actually super meaningful to me for 2 reasons. 2 of your students in the class work with me. The first is Madeline Coles, right out here. There she is. Madeline has worked with me for how long? 13 years, lucky 13, okay. We've been through a lot. Madeline was actually with me on January 6th. She was with our other policy staffer because I was in charge of counting the ballots. She was in the war room and she got stuck in a closet for 4 or 5 hours when all of the insurrectionists were, and all they had were utensils in their hands. So that is not a happy memory, but Madeline was courageous and brave through the whole thing. And then, next up, right there in the front row, Ruby DeBellis. Ruby, there we go, yes. So Ruby started working with our office in a very funny way. I did the commencement speech, right, at Morris, is that right? And she was the student speaker. And she did a really great job, and I spoke after her. And I got to the podium and I said, Ruby, you're just so good. I hope you'll come work for me. And she did. That is the story. So we're excited to have Ruby, and I wasn't surprised to learn she was this class's student speaker, so very cool. So I'm excited to be here because of them, and also just the degree you're getting right now. It couldn't be a more important time to get a public affairs degree at a top 10, yes, top 10 public affairs school in the nation. It's also where, thank you, yes, where so many incredible alums get the skills they need. I'm thinking of Sarah States, a friend of mine who led Planned Parenthood North Central States for more than 2 decades. Anita Patel, Vice President of Grant Making at the Bush Foundation, and the super cool mayor, St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter. All, of course, graduates of these programs. So that is, I guess that's something to look forward to. You are graduating at a time, all of you, when we have seen fractures in our healthcare system, our infrastructure, our democracy, from challenges with climate change to public safety, to immigration reform, to education, to civil rights, to protecting our most fundamental freedoms. It feels like everything is on the line right now. But seriously, all of you give me hope. You give me hope because you actually are getting a degree in things we need right now. We need people that think this way, that want to solve problems instead of just make problems. I work with a lot of those people. We want to have people that work to pursue the common good all of the time. I see that in my own life. I wouldn't be here without the power of education. My husband actually got a degree at the University of Minnesota. My dad started out with a 2-year degree at Ely, what was called Ely Junior College, then Vermillion, and then finished up here at the University of Minnesota with a journalism degree. My mom taught 2nd grade until she was 70 years old after going to Milwaukee's Teachers College. And so when I stand here before you today, it is as a granddaughter of an iron ore miner. My grandpa, who worked his whole life underground in the mine, never got to graduate in high school, just saved money in a coffee can so he could send my dad to that 2-year school and finish up at the University of Minnesota. So I stand here as a granddaughter of an iron ore miner who didn't get to finish high school, the daughter of a teacher who is so proud of her work, the daughter of a newspaperman with a U of M degree, and the first woman elected to the U.S. Senate from the state of Minnesota. That is the power of the education. It truly is. And so when people say to you, this class, well, now you're going out in the real world, doesn't really work. Since you're in the real world, so many of you have been balancing work with your degree, families with your degree. You've been through, many of you, this time where we were just going through the pandemic, so many of you having to balance the laptop on one knee and a child on the other, learning to use the mute button better than your professors, and certainly a lot better than United States senators. And so I just want to end with this because I brought this up with Madeline. My last few years in the Senate has been defined by January 6th because Senator Blunt, Republican senator who retired recently, he and I were in charge of that electoral count. We were the ones that led the procession, kind of like your processions of senators in the morning. It was this happy ceremonial pomp and circumstances with the mahogany boxes and the pages carrying them to the House. And then the objection started, and then the insurrection came, and then we were sent away to another room, and 14 hours later, with the Capitol, this citadel of our democracy, desecrated, it was just 4 in the morning, and it was Roy Blunt, me, and Vice President Pence, and those same 3 pairs of young women with the mahogany boxes containing the electoral ballots up to Wyoming, which fortunately one of the pages, one of the parliamentarians had the presence of mind to say, we better get these out of the Senate chamber because they're going to get burned or taken. And we made that walk to the House of Representatives over broken glass and spray-painted pillars filled with vulgarities, and we said that day that democracy would prevail, and it did. And so with this degree, I'm asking you to finish that walk for me, to carry on that torch. You have met at this school students with different ideological views and have been able to have debates and real debates. You've been able to talk about different ideas. You have had these moments where you thought, I'm not going to look down at my phone. I'm going to look next door to my neighbor. I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to respectfully listen. We need more of that in our democracy right now, in a big, big way. And in our case, that march continued on to that inaugural stage 2 weeks later, and under that beautiful blue sky, while there were many great moments, including Lady Gaga boisterously belting out the Star-Spangled Banner and motioning to the flag and saying, and our flag is still here. The most memorable moment for me was Amanda Gorman, age 22, the youngest inaugural poet in the history of America, who addressed the nation with that beautiful poem she had written in just the 2 weeks before, in which she, in this crowning moment, said, you must find light in the never-ending shade. So that's what today is about to me. It's about that light. The light that you get when you talk to someone and you realize, maybe they're right, maybe I'm not quite right. The light that you get when you have a brand new idea. The light you're going to give the world with your degree when you do good. No matter where you go, what you do with it, the light you're going to shed with that. So what I want you to think about is the namesake of this school, Hubert Humphrey, when he said, the politics of happiness, the politics of purpose, and the politics of joy. So please go forward with purpose, with these great degrees, go forward with solutions, but most of all, go forward with joy and find that light in the never-ending shade. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Senator Klobuchar. We are truly honored to have you here today, and I know our graduates are inspired by your continued dedication to the state of Minnesota, our country, and our world, and your steadfast connection to our students. This morning, our school community recognized and celebrated the exemplary work of you, our graduates. I'd like to welcome Associate Dean for Research, Ryan Allen, to tell us about those accomplishments and introduce our student speaker.
Thank you, Dean Botchway. I've never had to follow a U.S. Senator before, so this is going to be something. Thank you and good afternoon, graduates, honored guests, family, and friends. I want to take a moment to acknowledge our Academic and Leadership Awards, as well as our outstanding instructors. The names of these awards are listed toward the back of your program for reference. Earlier today, we honored these amazing students and faculty members at our Humphrey School Awards brunch. Thank you for all who were able to attend. Behind me, you will see a list of this year's honorees. If you were recognized with an award, please stand up. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. I now have the pleasure of introducing this year's student speaker, who was voted to give today's speech by her peers, Ruby DeBellis. Ruby is graduating from the Master of Science in Science, Technology, and Environmental Policy, or MS STEP program. She is a Minnesota native, having grown up in Maple Grove before spending her middle school years in Cebu City, Philippines, which is where her mother is from. Her family returned to Bloomington, Minnesota in 2009, and she attended Jefferson Senior High School, where she was a student commencement speaker in 2014. From there, Ruby attended the University of Minnesota Morris, where she earned her bachelor's in political science with a minor in biochemistry, and was elected student commencement speaker in 2018. You're detecting a pattern. Since then, Ruby has worked in the office of Senator A.B. Klobuchar for over 4.5 years and is currently an outreach director handling housing, public safety, and law enforcement, women's issues, hunger, and AAPI community issues. Before starting her master's degree here at the Humphrey School, Ruby was in our first cohort of Junior Summer Institute Fellows in 2017. During her time here, Ruby has served as a graduate research assistant, teaching assistant, and the social chair for the school's Public Affairs Student Association, planning multiple events such as the winter banquet and end-of-year celebration. She is also on the board of a nonprofit called the Cultural Society of Filipino Americans. Please join me in welcoming Ruby DeBellis as she makes her way to the stage.
Thank you, Associate Dean Allen, and thank you, Dean Botchway, of course, Senator Klobuchar, Regent Tao Urabe, Vice Provost Lanyon, and our keynote speaker, Senior Vice President of the Minneapolis Foundation, Shonda Smith-Baker. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to our friends and family, some of whom have traveled far and wide to be here today, and others who are joining online, our faculty and staff, and of course, the Hubert H. Humphrey School of Public Affairs class of 2023. As a proud Filipino American, I'm honored to stand before you all today during Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and I would like to thank my peers for trusting me to represent you. I hope to make you proud. So, for preparing for this speech, so many thoughts went through my head, and I wasn't really sure where to start. So I decided to go back to where my Humphrey journey began, which were my admissions essays. So, in my impact statement, I wrote, as someone educated through Minnesota public schools, I've developed an interest and commitment to preserving and improving our state. Minnesota has a wealth of freshwater, agricultural, and energy resources, the management of which will only become more important as we face the grand challenges of a rapidly changing climate and society. I concluded by saying, my goal in attending the MS STEP program is to learn all I can about the cultivation and distribution of our state's resources and help contribute to the optimization of those systems for the betterment of Minnesota and society at large. Rereading my admissions application reminded me that nothing happens in a vacuum. Our passions and priorities are all shaped in some way by our upbringing, identity, and sense of place. And what a great place Minnesota is. When it comes to national rankings, Minnesota is one of the most highly educated states with the highest ACT scores, and as previously mentioned, a top 10 policy school. Congratulations. We are civically engaged, boasting the highest national voter turnout rate, and we're charitable too, consistently ranking as one of the top states in terms of volunteer hours and philanthropic donations. With the most Fortune 500 companies per capita, we're ranked second when it comes to economic opportunity. And as home of the Mayo Clinic, we have one of the highest quality healthcare systems in the entire world. We enjoy an abundance of farmland, parks, lakes, rivers, trails, and the beauty of all four seasons. Minnesota is truly a gem and is considered one of the best states in the entire country to live and raise a family. But who's Minnesota really best for? Despite being one of the most highly educated states, we also have one of the worst educational achievement gaps and graduation rates for low-income and BIPOC students in the country. While we're allegedly one of the best places for economic opportunity, the Twin Cities has the worst racial home ownership gap in the nation. The Black poverty rate is 4 times the white poverty rate. The Black incarceration rate is 11 times the white incarceration rate. And despite Minnesota recently having the lowest unemployment rate ever of any state, Black and Latino unemployment continues to rise. We are a microcosm for everything that is right and wrong with America. Coined by our very own Dr. Samuel Myers, this is what has become known as the Minnesota paradox. If you think about it, is it really all that surprising that we would become the epicenter of a global racial reckoning? How is it that we have so much abundance, yet so much hardship? We have the resources to fix these disparities, so why haven't we? One thing I've learned through personal experience in my time with the United States Senate and at the Humphrey School of Public Affairs is that our current systems and institutions were not built with everyone in mind. We can't Minnesota-nice our way out of this. In fact, our passive-aggressive tendencies may be one of the very reasons we have reached these inequities in the first place. Until we openly call out and recognize these disparities and take responsibility for not just creating, but also solving them, they'll be extremely difficult to overcome. However, the Minnesota paradox provides us with an opportunity to respond to these deep-seated social inequities. We've built ourselves into these problems, and with the tools the Humphrey School has given us, we can build ourselves out of them as well. To succeed in building a more equitable future, we need a systems change. Now, how do we do that? As we've all learned, the first step in making a policy solution is defining the problem. The unique thing about the times we live in is that not only can we not seem to agree on what our problems are, it seems we can't agree on the state of objective reality in general. And that's understandable. With technological advances like AI and the overwhelming amount of social media outlets all spinning their own stories, it's become increasingly difficult to decipher fact from fiction. The truths we operate under directly influence what we see as problems that need to be solved. The truths that influence me, and many of my peers here today, bring me to define our biggest problems as follows. As of May 1st, there have been 184 mass shootings in the United States. Nearly 14,000 people have died due to gun violence this year, 115 people per day. The leading cause of death for children in the United States is firearms. Mothers in states with abortion bans are nearly 3 times more likely to die. 321 anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced this year, and at least 14 states have passed laws or policies that restrict gender-affirming care. As a result, millions of Americans no longer have access to the critical health care they need, or have to travel hundreds of miles to get it, or worse, face criminal prosecution and repercussions for receiving it. More frequent and intense droughts, storms, floods, heat waves, rising sea levels, melting glaciers, and warming oceans are wreaking havoc on our ecosystems and people's livelihoods and communities. We throw away 30% of our food, and nearly the same percentage of the globe is facing food insecurity and famine. There is an affordable housing crisis, and many of us are spending over half of our income on rent. The average American has $37,000 in student loans. Wages haven't kept up with inflation, and even those who make six figures aren't doing well. 51% of families making over $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. My husband and I both earned our master's degrees this weekend. We've been in the same job for 5 years. Will we ever own a home? Who knows? Replace our 11-year-old car? Maybe. Start a family? Hopefully. And I haven't even mentioned COVID, immigration, human rights overconsumption, corporate greed, environmental racism, big egg, and the war in Ukraine. The list goes on and on. Faced with these seemingly insurmountable injustices, it's hard to not just throw your hands up in the air and say, this is too hard to change, or nothing can be done. But what gives me hope is that I'm looking at a group of graduates who reject that notion. We have chosen to believe that a better future is possible, and we've strived every day to equip ourselves with the tools necessary to make a change, even when it's hard, which it's been super hard post-COVID, not gonna lie. So not to be dramatic, but we're at a crucial moment in history. What we do next will have lasting impacts and implications on the health and prosperity of our society and the planet. Now more than ever, it is imperative that we come together to face these issues as one. While our degrees are a visible symbol of our success and determination, we've also made invaluable connections from our time spent together. Learning alongside each other and from one another with our diverse backgrounds, ideas, and experiences makes us ready to take on the greatest challenges of our time. Our community is a system. From here, we'll go out into the world and we'll make a difference in the institutions and communities that we care about. But that's only half the battle. We also have to come back together to keep our connections. That's what makes it a system and not just a bunch of well-equipped individual cogs in a machine. We have to talk to each other and continue to do so until we've created new pathways and connections that will eventually build the future that we envision. While we all have our own ideas of how to fix whatever problems have motivated us to get our graduate degrees today, I believe that we share a collective vision of what improving our world can look like. And if we all do our part, I'm confident that our efforts will not be in vain. Graduates, thank you all for your commitment to public service, and congratulations on this achievement. I look forward to working with you all in our pursuit of a better future, and I can't wait to see what we build. See you on the other side.
Thank you, Ruby. It has been such a pleasure in getting to know you during your time at the Humphrey School. I'll wait for her to sit down. You, Ruby, and all of you graduates in the audience, you give me hope, despite all of the challenges that we've heard, that we know about. You did this. You make us proud, and you will continue to make us proud. It is my sincere pleasure to now introduce our keynote speaker for today's commencement address, Shonda Smith-Baker. Shonda is a board director and entrepreneurial, philanthropic, nonprofit, and community leader, an experienced CEO, with proven success in leading complex organizations. Shonda is recognized for her strategic leadership, demonstrated success in turning underperforming organizations around, and broad social impact. Currently, Shonda serves as the Chief Impact Officer and Senior Vice President at the Minneapolis Foundation, where she provides strategic direction to community initiatives and multi-sector partnerships. Her work has resulted in forward-leading strategies that have gained national attention. Previously, she served in various leadership positions at Pillsbury United Communities for 17 years, where she eventually became the CEO. Throughout her more than 25 years of experience in cultural and organizational transformation, talent management and diversity, equity and inclusion, Shonda has made a positive impact in the Twin Cities and beyond. She is extremely proud of being co-founder and chair of the Black Collective Foundation, an effort that launched in 2020 in response to the murder of George Floyd and subsequent uprising. Shonda has received numerous recognitions honoring her exceptional community leadership, including the Women's Foundation of Minnesota's Mary Lee Dayton Catalyst 2020 honoree, Minnesota Business Magazine The Real Power 50 honoree, the Hubert H. Humphrey Public Leadership Award, and recognition by the Chronicle of Philanthropy as the Groundbreaker, an innovator in 2019. Please join me in welcoming Shonda Smith Baker as our commencement speaker.
Good afternoon. It was hard to listen through all that reading of that stuff that I've done in my life. It is such a joy to be with you on this Saturday. First and foremost, I'd like to welcome the faculty and the guests, Senator Klobuchar, Regent Tao Arabe, Vice Provost Lanyon, our student speaker, Ruby, and thank you, Dean Bochwe, for the invitation. And a special congratulations to all of you graduates who will be walking this stage today to receive your advanced degree. This is a moment to sit, to savor, and acknowledge the tremendous accomplishment. You deserve every bit of it. It is an opportunity to thank those who supported you to getting to this point, as I have no doubt you achieving this goal is a great source of pride and inspiration for them. In the short time I have with you, I want to talk a bit about my walk of leadership and some of what I've learned along the way. In fact, my leadership journey was shaped by my own graduation story. When I was in my mid-20s, I was divorcing and had young children. My entire world and theirs was being redefined. I was in an identity crisis at a low point. I could barely figure out my next day without encountering numerous barriers that seemed insurmountable. Yet in the midst of this life storm, I made the decision to return to school to complete my degree. Working all day, attending evening classes, then going home to read, to write, to edit. I'm sure you know that drill. It was a period in my life of sheer grit and determination. It was a time that revealed to me more of myself. I negotiated with professors and security officers to allow me to bring my children to class when my daycare fell through. I was praying and guiding and demanding for them to just eat your Cheerios, play with these Legos in the back of the classroom, and please do not disturb mommy. I had countless of all-nighters to complete papers while sometimes calming a sick child. I sat next to my peers in classes with the same deadlines and the same expectation, while underneath the surface, my life was falling apart. I was couch hopping, I was negotiating on what I could pay, I was in a free fall. In short, getting through each class and sometimes each day felt like an heroic act. I was trying to figure out what the future would hold for me, and it was unfolding in front of me in like ways that I could never imagine. But for me, getting my degree was a pathway to better. My journey, not unlike yours, includes the reality underneath the obvious when we show up in the room. While our lived experiences may be different, we have all encountered times in our lives when the road ahead seems uncertain. We have all had to navigate systems and places that were necessary for us to get ahead, overcoming barriers that seem to have no other role but to keep us in our place. As you move forward from this day, I invite you to intentionally hold the understanding that all walks don't look the same to get to the same place. The hurdles look different. What is in front of you most often is not the full story. What I have learned is that leadership is uncovering what's underneath. It is listening to the spoken and the unspoken language. It is creating the conditions for others to be successful. The experiences that we have, both powerful and less so, are useful in shaping our understanding. It sharpens our leadership. As we make decisions that impact the lives of others, it is crucial to think differently about how power is utilized and how it is leveraged. It's important to know that the problems and the solutions demand us to see them differently. And even in our differences, we can find the relatable. And matter of fact, this is where the magic often happens. I invite you to live fully into the path that's uniquely yours. The good, the difficult, and the triumphant. See, they work in harmony when embraced as such. They can be the foundation that inspires you to new heights. It can be the foundation for you to see the potential in others, therefore seeing more potential in yourself. We are here today, and I have exercised and had the privilege to be in many rooms with my leadership. Thanks to the told and untold stories of those that came before us. Ordinary people who did extraordinary things. People paving the way that enabled us to travel our lives with more options. Everyday people that were willing to take risk on the behalf of our collective progress. In my over 25-year plus career, my most impactful work was inspired by others. Ideas often surfaced at random moments, in conversations, and me listening to what was happening in others' lives that catalyzed visions that I would have never dreamt on my own. Like the vision of opening a health and wellness grocery store in North Minneapolis called North Market, or hosting a podcast called Shonda, Conversations with Shonda, and I failed speech class, by the way, when I was in school, that allow me to have conversations that we all have inside of our own communities of comfort. You are graduating from a powerful institution. The Humphrey School of Public Affairs holds weight and holds so much possibility for our future. It is an accomplishment you should be extremely proud of. It will assist you in the opportunity to influence others in ways they may never know. Every day in our city, in our community, there are people juggling challenges in insurmountable ways. There are long-standing systems barriers that have maintained a stronghold on our individual and collective progress. When I think about the brilliance that is in this auditorium, it brings me hope. When I imagine the offices you will run for, the policies you will influence, and the leadership roles you will hold, I get excited about the progress that will be made. Just like those that came before us that made this day possible, you are and we are those that will knock down walls, break glass ceilings, and chart new paths for generations that we may never meet. Our difference-making in some cases will be visible, but most often it comes by everyday decisions and regular acts of courage. What I have learned is that leadership is to be experienced in relationship with others. What I've learned in my leadership is that every issue we are working to solve to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to pursue their dreams, policy undergirds. What I know is policy is more than words on paper, it's more than votes, and it's more than likes on social media posts. It is dynamic. And leadership is an experience that if you stay in relationship with it, it will unfold in ways that will surprise you, as it is also dynamic. There are many lessons I could share. However, today I want to underscore the point that leadership is unique to you. It manifests at the speed in which you trust yourself. It is the culmination of all the struggles and all the graduations that we gain along this thing called life. As you send off to your next chapter, I want to express that your degrees embody so much. It represents your leadership, your resolve, your commitment, and your value of learning. When people see my degree, when people see my diploma, they see my degree. But what it represents to me is the grit it took to accomplish it. It represents the moments I wanted to quit, but I got up the next day and put one foot in front of the other. It represents all the people that supported me, including the security officer and the professors that allowed me to bring my kids to class. It represents the policy and the progress that my ancestors fought for that provided me the opportunity to even sit in those classrooms. It is your own graduation story and the community that you will always be connected to that represents a promise to the values you hold. Every year unfolds beautiful surprises and unimagined opportunities if you remain open to the possibilities. One of my favorite quotes from Gandhi states simply, "My life is my message." It is everyday actions, how you treat and consider others, and your acts of courage that will build your legacy. As you move forward, remember you are part of a community of leaders and change makers. Remember that every time you act on a policy or leadership decision, there are people connected to it. You have the power to make positive impact in the world, and it is a gift. Use it wisely. Never become so powerful that you forget to learn or take a minute to sit with someone that has traveled down a different road. I invite you to find joy and gratitude in every day, especially those days that are hard. And in closing, I want to congratulate each and every one of you on this accomplishment. You have all worked hard to get to where you are today, and I have no doubt that you will continue to go on and do amazing things in this world. Remember to hold the power you have gained in the moments that you felt powerless and balanced. Remember the people behind the policy and the responsibility you have to create a better world. Together, we can create a more just and more equitable world for all. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you for letting me spend some time with you today.
Thank you, Shonda, for those inspiring remarks. Now we come to what probably is the most anticipated part of the program as we welcome a new class of graduates. Yes. Our graduates will be presented by faculty members specific to their degree program who are all noted in your program. It is an academic tradition that PhD candidates are hooded on stage by their faculty advisor or other faculty who have been particularly important in their academic accomplishments. This is different from the process for master's degrees. You may have noticed during the procession into the auditorium that master's candidates are already wearing their hoods, and the PhD candidates are carrying them or have carried them on stage for the ceremonial hooding. Please hold your applause until I've read their names and their accomplishments. Our first PhD in Public Affairs recipient is Bhavin Pradhan. Bhavin's track within the PhD program is Science, Technology, and Environmental Policy, and the working title of his dissertation is Essays on Energy, Justice, and Poverty Abatement Programs. Bhavin will be hooded today by Associate Professor Gabe Chan. Our next PhD recipient is not listed in the program because luck would have it that she's in town at the right moment. Dabi Saw graduated in 2020, but was never hooded due to the pandemic. Her track within the PhD of Public Affairs program is Management and Governance, and her dissertation was titled Resource Development and Use in the Early Stages of Collaboration, Findings from a Case Study of a Nonprofit Collaboration in Minnesota. Dabi will be hooded by Professor Emeritus John Bryson. It is good to have you both here with us today. Our next PhD recipient is Rebecca Walker. Rebecca's track within the PhD of Public Affairs program is Urban Planning, and the title of her dissertation is Real Estate, Urban Planning, and the Making of Environmental Injustice in Minneapolis. Rebecca will be hooded by Professor Ed Getz and Associate Professor Bonnie Keeler. Our next PhD graduate is Wenchen Wang. Wenchen's track within the PhD of Public Affairs program is Public Policy. Her dissertation is titled The Heterogeneous Effects of Occupational Licensing on Labor Market Outcomes. Wenchen will be hooded by Professor Morris Kleiner. Our final PhD recipient for this ceremony is Yi Wang. Yi's track within the PhD of Public Affairs program is Urban Planning. Her dissertation is titled 3 Essays on Housing Affordability in Chinese Cities. Yi will be hooded by Professor Ed Getz. Congratulations to each of our newest PhD graduates. It is now time for our master's degree graduates. Yes. I would like to invite Director Dave Woolsey, who is the Director of Graduate Studies for the Master of Development Practice program, to the far podium. I also invite Regent Terube and Vice Provost Lanyon to the front with me.
Thank you, Dean Bochwe. And thank you all. It gives me great pleasure to present the candidates for the degree of Masters of Development Practice, a program that is jointly administered with the Interdisciplinary Center for the Study of Global Change. I do so on behalf of the faculty of the Humphrey School of Public Affairs. Amani Abdelnour. Zakaria Abdullahi. Marian Stephanie Candil Escobar. Abigail Kandi. Madonna Morris Melid Abid. Kathy Evenson McDermott. Alyssa Fabia. Josh Fabus. Dalila Yasser Hussein. Nathan Jaidi Detweiler. John Keller. Salam Kubram. Calvin Mosca. Asia Kenya Tamami. Congratulations to our Masters of Development Practice graduates. I now invite Professor Deborah Levison to the podium.
Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to present the candidates for the degree of Masters of Human Rights, and I do so on behalf of the faculty in this joint degree with the College of Liberal Arts and the Humphrey School of Public Affairs. Nikita Deep. Guillermo Corín Castellano. Yadira Guzman. Rumjana Ljungqvist. Isabel Abraxas Hewitt-Link. Mohammed Mandoor. Corey Matkovich. Hortense Minishi. Joy Mbide Musimi. Angela Rose Myers. Siu the Samantha Ng. Kyla Rathjen. Sisai Shannon Tomrat. Socorro Topete. Congratulations to our Masters of Human Rights graduates. I invite Director Kevin Gertis to the podium.
Thank you. And it gives me great pleasure to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Public Affairs. And I do so on behalf of the faculty of the Humphrey School of Public Affairs. Adam Arraes. Lindsay Bacher. Carrie Bush. Nia Chang. Emily Christian. Ashley Juk. Chris Kwapek. Jack Mabius. Andrew Mueller. Shannon Peterson. Tyler Rusden. Nalima Satati Muneni. Monica Badali. Laura Velasquez. Congratulations to our Masters of Public Affairs graduates. And now I invite Professor Joe Sauce to the podium.
All right, y'all. Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to present the candidates for the degree of Masters of Public Policy, and I do so on behalf of the faculty of the Humphrey School of Public Affairs. Joseph Amrine. Samuel Josiah Benda. Zoe Zaire Betancourt. Lily Booker. Skylar Bolapang. Ariana Bauer. Connor Brees. Emily Broker. Jackson Cade. Amira Carter. Max Collins. Benjamin Kretzinger. Rachel Crippen. Hannah Maymun Dalsham. Nope. Come here.
Just Hannah Manning Dawson.
What's that? Hannah Maynham Dalsheim. With absolutely the best name of the day. George Drometer. Lindsay Erdman. Han Gao. Ruthven Garina. Amy Gillespie. Madeline Goebel. Mahad Sheikh Ali Gel. Mackenzie Grace Green. Alexandra Griffin. William Hagan. Brandon Henke Fiedler. Alice Hewitt. Jenna Hoagie. Olivia Huber. Arshia Hussein. Sarah Kazel. Grant Casti. Sydney Closter. Oh, yeah. Tess Corbismeyer Holman. Abigail Latham. Katie Lee. Rebecca Helen Lays. Libby Logsden. Christina Luna. Brennan McCabe. Dan Murphy. Emily Olinger. Emma Peterson. Mercedes Plendall. Ben Poltz. Michael A. Randall Sr. Jennifer Schneider. Caleb Sabora. Iden Silver. Kayla Southwick. Ronald Sullivan Jr. Yi Yang Sun. Madi Sorush. Samuka Terakanambi. Jessamine von Arx. Maya Wahlberg. Shuping Wang. Jiachun Wang. Mara Widensee. John Ponder White. Yasin Williams. Rachel Appel Whitcop. Monica Yanez. Congratulations to our Masters of Public Policy graduates. I'd like... He's MPP. Oh. I'm sorry. There was an error. There's one more MPP graduate. Abdullah Sahal. Thank you, and now I'm going to sit down and let someone else try to do this. I'd like to welcome Associate Professor Gabe Chan to the podium.
Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to present the candidates for the degree of Masters of Science in Science, Technology, and Environmental Policy. And I do so on behalf of the Humphrey School of Public Affairs faculty. Maddie Anders. Jam Angulo Paniagua. Kristen Beto. Devin Burry. Chris Carter. Ruby May Victorioso de Bellis. Anna Giesting. Sophia Green. Corey Hetchler. Carl Konech. Sarah Sky LaValle. Alexa Ling. Antara Mandal. Connor McKenzie. Megan Walkenhorst. Sarah Komaraski. John Smith. Congratulations to our Masters of Science in Science, Technology, and Environmental Policy graduates. I now invite Associate Dean for Research and Professor Ryan Allen to the podium.
Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to present the candidates for the degree of Masters of Urban and Regional Planning, and I do so on behalf of the faculty of the Humphrey School of Public Affairs. Ryan Ackerman. Noel Bakken. Kaisa Beatty. Meyer Beckner. Rachel Benson. Madeline Burgum. Jamila Budlali. Laura Brethheim. Brian Call. Mark Christensen. Caitlin Denton. Kristen Eldridge. Caitlin Flannery. Elena Franson. Linnea Gotterstad. Lily Heiting. Michael Horner. Isaac Ulai Johnson. Laura Lee Irady Kraus. Joseph Lehman. Maxwell Losi. Alex Menke. Kribashani Narayana Murthy. Rave Needham. Kevin Fan. Riley Rooney. Carmel San Juan. Maya Inez Sheikh. Gustav Stewart. Tristan Trejo. Anna Turner. Congratulations to our Master of Urban and Regional Planning graduates. I invite Regent Bo Tao Uribe to the center podium for conferral of degrees.
I would like to now ask all of our graduates to rise. Upon recommendation of the faculty and by the authority granted to the University of Minnesota Board of Regents, I now confer upon each of you the degree for which you have qualified. I want to ask you to turn to your friends and families. Turn. Thank you. Everyone, I want to introduce you to the class of 2023. Congratulations.
Thank you, graduates, and thank you, parents and friends and community members. I'd now like to invite to the podium Associate Dean Ryan Allen.
Congratulations on your accomplishment. You are members of an amazing community of alumni throughout the state, nation, and the world. To welcome you to the ranks of alumni, it is my pleasure to introduce a video provided by the president of the Humphrey School Alumni Board, Jeremy Schubach. Jeremy is an entrepreneur and resident of Denver, Colorado. He earned his Master of Public Policy degree from the Humphrey School in 2009. Jeremy is a policy and government affairs strategist with experience in shaping legislation and policy across a wide range of issues in Colorado. He is also passionate about teaching and serving his community. Let's hear now from Jeremy.
Congratulations, graduates. Now, as you move on to the next chapter of your lives, I want to remind you of the importance of pursuing your dreams, whether it is continuing your education, starting your career, or traveling the world. Don't be afraid to take risks and pursue what makes you happy. It is also my honor to welcome you to the Humphrey School Alumni Society. The Humphrey School Alumni Society is a place where alumni remain connected with each other as well as the university. It is a platform for us to network, mentor, and support each other throughout our personal and professional lives. We can use this platform to give back to the university that has already given us so much. But the Alumni Society is not just about giving back. It is also about celebrating our successes and achievements individually and collaboratively. We welcome you to submit your professional accomplishments for publication in the Humphrey Alumni Notes section of the website. Finally, I want to encourage you all to get involved in the Alumni Society and to make the most of this opportunity. Let us continue to support each other and the Humphrey School as we advance the common good in our diverse world. Welcome to the Alumni Society, and congratulations on being part of this amazing community. And congratulations again on amazing personal success at the school.
On behalf of the Humphrey School community, I want to congratulate all of you on a job well done. Students, family members, faculty members, and friends, a special thanks to all in the audience who have supported these graduates during their time at the Humphrey School. Now it's our turn to watch them go out and change the world for better. Humphrey School graduates, remember that you are innovative leaders who have been inspired, educated, and supported to advance the common good throughout our diverse world. You have the power to create positive change, and we believe in your ability to make a positive difference in the spaces you choose to invest in. So celebrate your accomplishments, but also remember that there is still much work to be done, as was noted by Ruby earlier. As you go out into the world, continue to pursue excellence, embrace challenges, and never lose sight of your passion for creating a better world. We had hoped to gather on the patio behind the concert hall, but due to the weather, we are inviting each of you to join us at the Humphrey School, which is just a short walk for a reception. There we will enjoy cupcakes and refreshments. I thought I would hear some kids say, yay. We'll have a photo booth. Students and families are also invited to have their photos taken by our professional photographer there at the photo booth. I ask that all our guests remain seated during the recessional. Again, thank you for celebrating with us today. Good afternoon and congratulations.